I was looking at some data that says those are the two biggest factors for a person to be homeless. Do you guys refer them to services, or do you have any on-site um, services for that particular for those two, I guess, health conditions?
Sure. We don't have a clinician on our team, but because we think of ourselves as a community hub, we really work to connect with our partners in the community who do have clinicians and direct services. So we have a caseworker from Elliott Community Human Services who specializes in mental health and housing, and he's on site 1 to 2 days a week. We have a harm reduction specialist from Lowell House that is on site once a week. And then we have referral relationships with detox providers and other mental health and substance use disorder providers that we can refer people to. And we really try to have sort of a, I don't know if it's a PC way to say it, but a high touch case management approach where we really we do warm handoffs. We make sure we walk somebody, literally we'll physically walk somebody if we can to the other provider to make sure that we don't just say, oh, go see so-and-so, and maybe they go, maybe they don't. So that's kind of our approach.
Great, thank you so much. So we're gonna go with CBA next.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sanri Penn, and I am the development coordinator over at Coalition for a Better Acre. Tonight, we'll be talking a little bit about our YES program, which is our Youth Education Success Program. But just to give you a little bit of history, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Coalition for a Better Acre, but we are a community development corporation, a member based organization that is really invested in resident empowerment and sustainable revitalization for current and future residents of the city. We really want to promote vibrant, healthy neighborhoods by developing community leaders and affordable housing and economic opportunities to help meet the community needs through collective action by folks in the community. I'm going to share my screen and pop up my little presentation for you all. Look at our youth education success program was really developed based on demand or request or need in the community from hearing from our residents and folks living in the Acre neighborhood. The Acre neighborhood has been historically, I would say, like a gateway neighborhood for a lot of new community members coming into the city, and has historically been a low income neighborhood. The youth education success program, our year-round after school and summer program was really developed to meet the needs because a lot of other programs in the city were either cost prohibitive or inaccessible through transportation or other means. And our goal at Youth Education Success at our YES program is to provide a safe and nurturing out-of-school time environment year-round for kids ages 6 to 18. Again, really with a focus on the Acre neighborhood and the residents who actually live in the affordable housing developments that CBA has invested in. So majority of our members or participants actually live on CBA properties. We look to assist these young folks with homework and schoolwork, and expose them to educational enrichment opportunities that they might not otherwise be able to experience, and offer support and resource not only to the participants, but to their families as well. We do that by utilizing our in-house resources and the skills and experience of our staff, and leveraging our partnerships within the community. We are looking to help young people explore who they are, what they're interested in, so that they can help reach their full potential as people and as professionals looking to build a career for themselves. some of the major highlights from our 2023 program year was that we were actually able to double the capacity. We are a really small organization, so we were able to actually increase and double the number of participants in our program to 44 by moving them into a new space. We had over 55 young people participate in our summer program, and we have had six field trips during those summer sessions that the kids really enjoyed, and almost 1,000 hours of programming since October 20 of 22 to September of 2023. We also initiated or incorporated the first year of a robotics program, and we moved on to our 8th year partnership with Kids in Tech. We're probably one of Kids in Tech's first partners in the community, and we have developed our parent university class in partnership with UMass Lowell, which ran its 3rd sessions, providing parents of the kids in our program, as well as parents in the community that their kids don't necessarily have to participate in our YES program, resources and support in basically advocating and building, meaningful relationships with their children. So some of the events that happened this past fall into the winter was that we expanded to the 2nd floor of our main office building over at 517 Moody Street, which again allowed us to double the capacity and increase the number of young people we're able to serve. We incorporated robotics, but we are also going to incorporate journalism and photography into the program curriculum. We celebrated our annual holiday party and gift giveaway. We have special events for the young people in our program based on all the different celebrations throughout the year, and tried to really implement celebrations that are very inclusive and diverse with our young folks. We are also looking to expand and continue our partnerships. One of the very exciting partnerships that we have in development is with the Pollard Memorial Library and their bookmobile program, as well as the Lowell Chess Club. This is just a picture from our kids celebrating the holidays. They did visit City Hall and were able to see Santa and enjoy each other's company and be able to feel like a part of the community. So a lot of our programming involves a lot of different community partners, including the City of Lowell, Lowell National Parks, and as well as the Arts League of Lowell and different organizations throughout. Funding from CDBG will help us really be competitive when it comes to the staffing market at this point. We're looking to be able to bring folks in that have experience in youth development programming, as well as providing training to young people. We do have junior staff that come in. A lot of them actually were either involved in CBA programs or benefited from CBA programs in the past, and are looking for opportunities to develop themselves as professionals. So we want to be able to provide them that mentorship and guidance, and be able to pay them a wage that is reasonable. Also, the funding will also help us purchase supplies that will help us facilitate effective programming and allow us to serve up to 100 youth annually through both our after school and summer program. Okay. I know I might have moved a little fast, but I just wanted to make sure I was staying within the time frame. But if you have any questions regarding the youth education program, our YES program, I will take those questions. And I believe our Director of Development, Claire Gunther, is actually on the call as well. So she'll be able to answer any questions that I might not be able to give an answer to.
Thank you so much, Senator.
Thank you. Just stop my screen sharing now.
Elliot, any question? Okay, then. We're gonna move to Thrive.
Good evening. Let's do my screen share. Is it coming up? My computer is being glitchy, so I apologize. And I'm frozen too.
Kim, do you want me to move with another committee and get back to you?
I think my Wi-Fi glitched out for a second. I think it's back.
Okay,
Is my screen sharing okay now?
not yet.
Seeing the presentation?
Not yet.
Okay, that's not okay. Let me try something different. Screen's not sharing, but that's okay. We're gonna go on the fly with it. My name is Kim Yasir. I am the Chief Empowerment Officer of Thrive Communities. We support adults transitioning from incarceration, and we really focus on the role of community during that transition. What is the responsibility of people coming home, and what is the responsibility of our community to meet them and create spaces that welcome and support people. I am joined this evening by Kyle Fowler from Lowell House because the presentation, the proposal before you is a pilot proposal that would allow Lowell House and Thrive Communities to collaborate around a new house that is soon coming to Lowell. So a little bit about what Thrive offers. Thrive supports adults transitioning from incarceration through predominantly through peer reentry support. So individuals who have experienced reentry themselves support other people coming home. So our paid reentry staff support people as they work on getting their IDs, as they work on getting employment, as they work on getting housing, continuing pursuit of any mental health support or addiction treatment support, and really just building that like connection and robust relationships to work through both like the celebrations of what happens on a day-to-day basis, as well as through the challenges that come up. I wanted to give you a little like nugget, an example, because you have the like the numbers in our proposal, but an example of two individuals. One individual who throughout his life and both gave me consent to kind of share aspects of their stories, been in and out of incarceration since he was a teenager, and now he is in his late 40s, and has struggled with addiction. Every time he's been out, addiction has been part of that challenge. We have been part of his journey in his most recent release to the community almost 5 years ago now. And while there have been highs and lows, he has gained a position where he's able to stay housed. So whether he's having a relapse or not, he's reaching out finally to the people who can support him and navigating that and not returning to a cycle of homelessness, which often then also leads into further incarceration. And his story is very similar to many of the other members that we have. Another individual has had a continued cycle of his own, like kind of wrestling with his own like loving himself after knowing his own story of that has sent him back to incarceration, and building a relationship with Thrive, we've been able to like help him both get the mental health support that he needed, get housing, which for a lot of people with criminal record, housing is an extremely difficult process to secure. And so we are thrilled that Lowell House is opening up a reentry specific home in Lowell very soon. And we are excited for the opportunity to work closely with them and are asking this body to consider encouraging us to pilot and to really increase our capacity. Kyle, I'd love for you to speak just a little bit of the house, and I had a picture for you all to see because it's real. But go ahead, Kyle.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you everyone for having us here and sharing your time with us. Can you hear me all right? I'm using a microphone. Perfect. Yeah, so Lowell House has been mentioned already, and that's because we have a wide continuum of care. We have ambulatory services, and we also offer residential services. We have multiple homes. So we're branching out. Normally, we just do substance use type of residential treatments in varying forms, but we're branching out and we're going into reentry services, which is super exciting. So I will be opening meaning I will be directing through Lowell House. We will be opening a home called Road Renewal. It's going to be the name of it. And it's a community-based residential reentry program. The stay time will be a max of 6 months. And essentially, it's a 25-bed home. And we're going to be having programming bi-daily, so twice a day. And the partnership with Thrive would be huge. I used to work in the prison systems. Most recently, I was at Sousa Baranowski. And one of the courses and the resources that all of the individuals that we worked with loved was the hands-on reentry type of course class. Okay, how do I get my ID? How do I build my resume? Let's do some mock interviews. They would go crazy for that stuff. So when Kim came to me with this opportunity, I jumped at it because allowing the residents at the home weekly to have Thrive come in and offer hands-on services. Kim will be able to talk about next that the sort of partnership that we've discussed together would be huge. And like Kim had mentioned, and like I've had experience too, with the housing issue for previously incarcerated individuals is huge. And so it's 25 beds, which, for all of those in need is not a huge amount, but it impacts people's lives and helps them, like Kim had said, build and grow in their recovery and in their journey and renewing their lives and rehabilitating, which really is what our system should be geared towards. And it's not for everyone, unfortunately. So people go into the system and they come out, and a lot of times they have one of two roads in front of them. And when their father or their uncle or their brother or their niece or whoever is the only person that could take them in, and they're still in their own phase of life that might have gotten them in trouble in the first place, it's difficult for them to try to start this new era and this new chapter in their life. So being able to offer housing is huge in and of itself, but partnering with Thrive so that they can come in and offer these hands-on resources for these individuals would be amazing and needed.
And I'll just add briefly to that. So Thrive's providing the dedicated reentry care, would provide the dedicated reentry care support through a group at Road to Renewal, in addition to dedicated individualized one-to-one support after that group and then a continuum of care. So even after people complete their time at the house, they can continue to work with Thrive. Our relationship is ongoing. We're building community. We're not a program, we're a community. I'll take any questions.
I might be able to share my screen. Can you guys see that?
Oh, yes, thank you. I don't know what's going on with mine.
Kim worked so hard on this
The house,
amazing
that would be great,
slideshow.
and then we'll take questions while you look at the house.
Yeah, this is so beautiful. Thank you, Kim, for putting this together. Can you see that all right?
Yep, that's great.
Yep.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Any questions while the screen is, yeah, there you go. There's the house.
Yeah.
There's the house.
So
Go ahead.
Kim, and Kyle, maybe I don't know if you guys would have the data. This might be a three-pronged question. So if you need me to repeat anything, let me know. Do you guys have data on like the recidivism rate for people that have gone through a similar program? Also, has this been done before in other communities? And then the last part of the question is, what is the return on investment with regards to keeping, if you know what the recidiv, or to keep the people out of prison, um, if you know what those numbers are.
Yeah, I pulled that slide because, well, we didn't, Kyle and I decided not to put the slide because it was 3 minutes. So Massachusetts recidivism rate is about 33% of people return within 3 years, and that's just Department of Corrections. That does not include stays in jail, so it's much higher than that. Participation in a house like this, I don't know. Do you have any CRJ stats, Kyle? There are some houses in the Boston area that are part of this.
Yes. No, I'm not sure. And while me and Kim were putting this together, it's actually very difficult, like she had mentioned, to get statistical data that's accurate because, like she had mentioned, recidivism within Massachusetts is about 33%, which is lower than the overall average for the US being around 37%. But like she had mentioned, that's only for the prisons. So when you think about House of Corrections or probation and parole and all of these other types of ways people are involved in the criminal justice system, the number is actually much higher. And so I haven't looked at it, so I don't have it in front of me, and I apologize, but it would be difficult to find data that from like a Brook House, which is a CRJ home that they have in Boston.
But I
So it's
will
hard to say.
there is data. Harvard did a study on the role of social support and how that can impact recidivism rates. And I don't want to quote you an incorrect number, but it was enough that it's been in most of our like grant writing for it was in it for several years. So it does improve the social support specifically, especially when it's tied to housing, has a significant support. I can send that data when I have the right numbers for you, but there is some good research on it. And since the house doesn't exist, we're still working on our own pilot.
Well, thank you so much, Kim.
You have a great night.
Thank you. Elliot, do you have any other question?
Unless someone else has some questions for Kyle or Kim, but I'm all set.
Okay, perfect. Then we will go with a Pearl Transit.
Well, actually, is anyone here from them?
I think they're not here today.
What about Project Learn? Or how to?
Hi there. Yeah,
Hardly.
Project Learn's here.
Yeah, let's. Hi, Miss Kleiner. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good.